Awesome.
Beautiful.
So again,
Here we are.
how did the writing of the new album go then?
How did the writing of the new album went? Swimmingly. We had started working on it in sound checks in 2018. We do that a lot. It's a kind of it's a good way for us to test out ideas and ways that we think that songs will work in a live setting. And it's nice also because you've got the ambiance of the room in the sound of, because we're arena rocks, kind of music. So if you can listen to it in an atmosphere like that, it gives us an idea how the song's going to work. We do also sit down in the bus and write and stuff, but really sound checks. So we had done the majority of writing at sound check, and then when it came time last 2019, that summer of 2019, to really dig in and get the record ready, everybody had sent stuff into a Dropbox file. We listened to everything and decided on what would be the 12 songs that we would focus on in pre-production. So that's really how it happened, and everybody was super gung-ho. I mean, we were excited about the ideas. Some of them were partial, some of them were finished, and pre-production is where we kind of ironed everything out. So it happened rather quickly. I mean, Candlebox isn't the type of band that we'll beat our head up over a part. If it's not working, we'll just move away from it. And songs, songs are, Keith Richards said it a million times, songs are floating everywhere. And if you allow yourself to grab them, you're better off. If you're not paying attention to that, then you're going to miss it. And so that's kind of why we don't beat ourselves up over it. And we release records that, that have no real, we don't really stay in our lane either. So that's kind of why this record sounds like it's, driving down the wrong side of the freeway on some songs, and maybe in the fast lane, the slow lane, the carpool lane, the bus lane, the bike lane. We use them all.
Everything.
Yeah.
So obviously you kind of started getting it into the studio stuff 2019. Did the pandemic affect it at all? Kind of the recording of it and stuff?
No, we'd finished the record, prior to everything getting shut down. So we're very lucky. The only thing it affected was the release of the record. Yeah.
It just kind of got pushed back a bit then.
Yeah. I mean, a whole year. It was supposed to come out August of 2020 and it just came out in September 21. So, I mean, the nice thing about being able to sit on a record that long is that, you get to listen to it. You get to pick it apart. And, if we wanted to go in and change something, we could have. I mean, it wasn't like it was a difficult process, but I think everybody loved the record. We were all happy with it. And the label was stoked and management was stoked. So, it seems to be doing well. People are loving it too. So maybe we did the right thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely enjoying it. Yeah.
Thank you.
In terms of kind of lyrically, is there a story behind it, or does anything kind of spring out to you while you were writing it at all? Or?
Well, it's really, I mean, it's entitled Wolves. In several interviews, I think that as a society, we've become these injured lone wolves that just feel totally, disassociative and disrespected, and everybody feels like they're being slighted in some strange way. And my concept of wolves is they're an incredibly beautiful species. Yes, they are dangerous, but when they work together for the benefit of the pack, there's really nothing quite like it. The alpha male doesn't lead the pack. He follows the pack to make sure the pack's okay. Everyone in that pack looks out for one another to make sure that one another's taken care of. And as a society, I think we used to be that way. Certainly after 9/11 here in the United States, 20 years ago, we all were greatly affected by that tragedy. And whether you believe it was the government or not, I certainly don't. But we have those people over here that do. 95% of the population was there for one another. And I would love to see us get back to that, and I would love to see that worldwide. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
All this bullshit that goes along with religion and it's organized religion's the fucking worst thing in the world. and it's just a constant driving force between wars and all that bullshit. I'm just so kind of over it. So lyrically, to get back to your question, long story short, it's really dealing with who are we? What have we become? Who am I? What have I become? What is my relationship with my family like? What's my relationship with my wife like? And that's really what the record deals with, is kind of my immediate surroundings. And lyrically, I spent 3 months, 4 months actually, writing the lyrics for this record and working on the melodies to make sure that it all sat well on the record.
Oh, cool. And you've already kind of touched on it being kind of, you know, you don't restrain yourselves to one kind of sound, but would you say it's different kind of sonically to your previous works as a whole?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, absolutely sonically different inspirations, influences all over the place. I mean, I think this is the first time on a record where we've been really free to use our inspirations and influences the way we want. You know, I think Disappearing, we kind of reached for it a little bit, but we still blocked ourselves on some songs that we didn't end up putting on the record. We didn't do that this time. We just kind of allowed ourselves that freedom to write that song, whether you know, it sounds like Motorhead or, you know, whatever. I mean, that's kind of what we chose to do.
Cool. So I know kind of over here over the last year or so, it's been really kind of, you know, we've been in and out of lockdown, that kind of thing, barely any gigs. Did you guys manage to gig much over the last kind of, you know, obviously I know you're on tour at the minute, but before that, did you not really get out at all?
No, we started touring in 2020. We had dates in February because we knew the record was coming out in August. So we were supposed to pick up in April and continue on. And when that got shut down, we didn't do anything. I didn't play my first show until May of 2021. I did an acoustic show for a friend at his charity in Oklahoma. That was the first time I'd played a show since February 2020.
Oh wow! I imagine it's pretty good to finally get back out there, then get, you know, all together on stage again.
It's amazing. I mean, it's weird. It's certainly, you know, people aren't. You can tell that the audience isn't able to relax either. I mean, you know as well as I do, the reason we go to concerts is because we want to get lost in that music. We don't want to be thinking about anything but that music, and that's just not the case right now. You can tell there are certain people that aren't thinking about it, but you know, I'd say that the majority of our audiences that we're playing to, in the back of their mind, are concerned about COVID, whether they're going to get the Delta variant rather, or something like that. So it's strange in that sense, but we're still enjoying our stuff. We're still playing these shows and having fun, and I think the crowd is enjoying it. It's just not the way it was, you know. And I don't know how long it's going to be until we get back to that, you know, the freedom of just being there.
I mean, that was kind of leads nicely into the next question of, like, how do you think the music industry is, you know, like what state do you think it is in, what position do you think it is in, and do you think it ever's going to recover? Because I know I've spoken to a few people who are, you know, saying that it might never get back to the way it was.
I don't think it will. I mean, I think not certainly in the next 2 years. I mean, it's upside down right now. I mean, some of the biggest bands in the United States can't sell tickets right now, which is weird. Yeah. It's just, you know, I mean, the Foo Fighters are probably the only major rock band right now that are selling out every single show. Everybody else, Violent Femmes, Dropkick Murphys, you know, Blues Travelers, kind of these bands that are kind of in the same realm as we are. We're all doing 3/4 capacity venues. We're doing 3/4, even though they're saying they're sold out, it's 3/4 of the tickets. So I don't know how it's going to recover, other than just waiting out this depressive financial state. I mean, I just, it's going to be years before it's in the black again. Honestly, I mean, it's tough. It's real tough.
It is a shame. So obviously you tour in the US at the minute. Have you got any plans? I know it's obviously quite hard to plan everything out at the minute, but is there plans for kind of a more international tour, or are you just kind of waiting it out a bit?
No, we're fingers crossed. We're working on some stuff in Europe and Australia and New Zealand for 22 and 23.
Okay.
Fingers crossed that it works out. I mean, it's really, again, until these restrictions get lifted on traveling or being in certain countries. You know, I mean, we're all vaccinated and we have our, you know, vaccine passports and shit.
Yeah.
But that just doesn't seem like it's working. So we have to kind of wait it out and see what governments are doing. I mean, the health minister in Australia, you know, I think the guy's a bit crazy. Certainly the Australians are losing their minds over it. But I did an interview in New Zealand the other day and they're under lockdown again. So,
yeah,
you know, man, it's really up in the air. It really is. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. I know we've had a few gigs over here kind of cancelled and paused and stuff like that because people are just, not able to travel.
Yeah.
So to kind of finish on a slightly more lighter note, if there was one kind of band or artist or something like that that you could collaborate with, whether it be a song or a full album or something like that, anyone immediately spring to mind?
Oh, I'd love to work with Nothing But Thieves. I love them. Really love that band. I love that new record. What is it? I'm forgetting his name. I gotta look. I'm forgetting his name. I don't know why, because I love him. English cat with the tattoos on his face, real soulful voice. Something man. Shit.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. I listen to him every fucking day.
Rag and Bone Man.
Yes, Rag and Bone Man. I love him.
Yeah,
I just think he's got some cool fucking records going right now, and love his voice. And of course, I mean, I'd love to do something with Adele. I'd love to do something with Johnny Marr. I mean, I'm a big fan of English music, man. The Manchester movement was a huge influence on me, a huge inspiration for me. You know, when I was in, it's funny. I think we played Manchester, and we went to the Stone Roses bar.
Oh yeah,
you know this place? It's so fucking cool, man. I went there for 2 nights. We had 2 nights off. Or no, we played the one night, and I went there after our show, and I stayed there till 4 a.m, just dancing and listening to music. And I went back the next night because I was just like, I didn't hear one fucking rap song. I didn't hear any stupid pop shit. It was nothing but English rock and roll. And I was just like, this is the greatest fucking bar in the world, you know? And I love that about England. I love that your country does that. You know, it's like you support your fucking arts. We don't do that here. I mean, you'll have bars that play rap music, but it's shit, you know, the fucking venue sucks and the people suck. And the music's not, it's not the best rap songs. It's like, you know, all the shit we know, you know, and nobody digs deep for anything here. And I just thought the DJ at that club was so fucking amazing, man. Cause I was like, every song I knew, but there were some that I was like, oh man, that's a fucking deep cut, you know, like, and I love that shit, you know?
Definitely. Yeah.
I'd like to collaborate with those guys.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd definitely love to hear that. So I think that's all I've got.
Oh, right on. Well, I'm so happy we got to chat, man.
Yeah, definitely.
You take care, you stay out of trouble.
Yes, you too. And hopefully we'll manage to catch you on tour over here over the next.
Yeah, well, I'll let you know.